G'day guys, hope you guys are having an awesome day. My name is Zach and I run a YouTube channel called Zach Baldy. Now I'm currently in the beautiful country of Italy and I have no access to my car or any kind of cool cars of that nature at the moment. So I decided what I'll do. I have a few free minutes of the house that I'm filming currently. I decided to do a Q&A video for you guys today, simply because I haven't ever done one. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking a lot of questions as to just my car and the future of the channel and everything like that as well. So I got a lot of you guys to ask me questions on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube, and I will be answering them for you in today's video. So my first question is from Zachary Paulson and he said, what is your first car? My first car was actually a 2004 BA Falcon XT in Mercury Silver. Now I got it for $1,000 and it had dents in all the doors, the roof, the boot and the bonnet as well. I managed to find someone that was wrecking one in Mercury Silver, the exact same colour that I was looking for in Gladstone. So me and my dad went around there and I picked it all up for I think it was like $500 for all those bits. So anyway, we took it all home, me and my dad, we went over the entire car, made it looking really nice. And then I also put some FG Mark II wheels on it, and also, what else did I do? I also put an XR body kit on it, and yeah, pretty much I sold that one off for $3,600, which was a bonus for me. And this question was from Taj Gill, and he asked, how did you meet Max? Max and I actually met through a Ford page which was called Ford Club Queensland, and me and him actually went to a car meet together, but I was brand new to Brisbane and I had no idea where I was going. So Max said, yeah, excellent, I'll come down and meet you and we'll drive there together. And that's where the friendship started, and he's been my best mate for almost 2 years now. So another question from Fortune X Apparel on Instagram. But if you guys don't know Fortune Apparel, they've actually been a massive sponsor of this channel, and he actually sent me out a couple of awesome shirts. It's way too cold at the moment, I actually put it on for this video, but Fortune Apparel is actually the sponsor of this video and they made all of this possible. So he sent me out a couple of awesome t-shirts, which I'll give you guys photos of right now. And if you guys use the code ZACH10 on his website, which is linked down in the description below, you actually get 10% off any order that you make on Fortune Apparel's website. So thank you very much Fortune Apparel for sponsoring this video. If you could all go check it out, that would be amazing. Now I got another question from a guy called Connor_green_, and he asked what are my future goals in terms of the car and the channel. Pretty much the car at the moment as it's standing, if you guys saw the car update video, there's a couple more things I have to do to it. So I have the intercooler, plus the injectors, plus the high flow cat, which I all currently own. All that has to go into the car, and then I have to do a tune, which I'm going to go through a real dyno, and he's quoted me about $1,095 for a single PCM Tech tune. So that should see the car hopefully going between 420 and 440 horsepower, but you know, we'll see what we can make out of it. Apparently the turbo itself is not too great in terms of inside the actual turbo housing itself. The fins possibly may have scratched the inside of the housing, and this could be from anything. And when I was actually taking apart the intercooler piping, you guys might have seen that that little silicon joiner that was on the very front of the turbo was actually split, which means that there was actually a lot of the turbo noise could have been coming from that, and also it could have been letting a lot of dirt in. So we're not quite sure how safe the turbo is or how healthy it is, but it's only a $300 change out. And if I did break it in the future, I wouldn't need a retune, so that's no issue at all. But yeah, shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, the car should see around 420 horsepower to 440 horsepower and around 650 to 800 Newton meters of torque, but I doubt it would be 800. And as in terms for the channel, there is a couple of companies that are going to be working in really close within the next couple of months. I have Ants Performance, who's going to be sending me out a couple of parts as well that we're going to be installing, which I'm really keen. Hopefully you guys are going to be really stoked with those few videos. And yeah, just yeah, I mean pretty much the goal for me at the moment is to finish the XR6 Turbo. Once that's finished, I can move on to something a little bit different. I do want to get into try and get into doing a track car very, very soon. I just want to make sure that I have sort of set up my life a little bit first. I need to finish the car, and then I'm also going to be moving out into a house, just renting, and I also want to have a garage space that I can work on my cars and have ample room for cars. So yeah, that's all going to be coming very soon. I'm not quite sure exactly where the future of me is at the moment. I'm kind of seeing where it all goes, but I know that YouTube is definitely going to be in it, so don't stress. Now, I got a very interesting question from a guy called Hayden Wheeler, and he asked, if you had the opportunity, would you swap the turbo for an S15? Oh, I know that S15s are extremely expensive at the moment, and you could probably pick one up for between 15 and 20,000. I think if the right one did come along and it was super clean, super tidy, and he had the same mindset as me where, you know, you try and make it super clean and super reliable and also was decently quick, I probably would. But it would have to be the perfect S15. And I don't think anyone with the perfect S15 will want to swap for an XR6 Turbo, just saying. It's me, Denny asked, brother, your dream car, unlimited budget. Oh man, I don't know, I think I would go with an extremely clean, maybe somewhat 800, 600 horsepower, R34 GTR M-Spec. M-Spec No. I think that would be my ultimate dream car. Or something along the lines of maybe a really nice clean FDRX7 or something. Or I guess unlimited budget if I was to go with the supercar. I'm not quite sure. I think if I was to go supercar, I'd probably go something along the lines of Bugatti Chiron. Simply because it's very classy. But I'm not quite sure yet. I have way too many cars in my mind to even begin to think about it. So I've seen a heap of questions actually come out and asking me whether I will get an FPV one day, or getting an F6 one day, or a GT one day. And the truth is, if I was to go with one of those cars, it'd be for an investment and I wouldn't want to do any mods to it. So for me, if I was to get one of those cars, I would only do like engine upgrades. It'd be mostly just for tracking purposes and just to keep in the shed. I would never drive it. And for me, trying to build a successful YouTube, it's not really beneficial for me to buy one of those cars because I wouldn't be making videos in those cars and seeing returns in profit for the videos that I make. So at the moment, an FPV just isn't a liable excuse for me to go out and lash out and buy one. Even though I could sell both my cars and do it, I wouldn't want to. Yeah, I mean, as much as I would love a supercharged V8 one day, man, if I was to get a supercharged GS, that would just be the ultimate goal. Or a GT335 or an R-Spec, GTF, who knows, I just want one day. Jacob Steele asked, does it need a retune? Yes, any mod you do to a car will need a retune, including Zach Baldy stickers, which can be found at www.zachbaldy.com. If you guys would like to support it, please, but just be wary, you do need a retune after them. Also, I'm going to be doing a catch can very soon, which will need a retune. Heaps of retunes going on. So Super Joel, if you guys don't know Super Joel, he's actually the guy that took me out in my very first drifting experience out at Archerfield. And he has a black Supra, and he said, if you were going to get a budget drift car, what would you choose? At the moment, Joel, I am honestly not quite sure. I'm tossing up between a couple of different cars. I do want to go with something that's JDM, not something that's ADM, considering that a lot of my fan base already is from Australia and they like Australian cars through my already XR6 Turbo. So for me to expand my channel, I really don't want to go with another Aussie car. I want to go with something that's a little bit different, and even though there's heaps of channels about it, I do definitely want to dive in and see how it goes. I want to go with a Skyline of some description, whether it's an R32, R33, R34, NA or turbo. It just has to be manual. I don't really mind as long as it's manual, and as long as I can make it reliable, I'm all good. But then again, RB and reliable for drifting doesn't really go in the same sentence. And then I could also look at getting a 350Z, which has a VQ35 motor, which would be really reliable for drifting as well, but I'm not quite sure again. Or I could go with something along the lines of an S13 or an S14. Yeah, I don't know. I think when I do it, it'll just come up at the time, and there'll just be a car there one day ready for me to go, and it'll be cheap, it'll be all right looking, and it won't need much work, and I'll just go and buy it, and that'll be it. But I think at the moment, if I really did want to try, I would go with the Skyline. Keeks KZ asked, is the Earth flat? no, the Earth is not flat. In fact, the Earth is actually a sphere, but not as we know it. It's an inverse sphere. So that way that the Earth is actually on the outside. If you could imagine a sphere, the Earth is on the outside here. We are actually facing inwards to each other. Hence why at night, the stars in the sky are actually major cities. I actually believe in this theory completely. And yeah, if you guys want to know anything about the inverse sphere theory that I've developed in the religion that I have, then yeah, please enter a comment down in the comment section below and I'll be sure to answer your questions. So a guy called Jacob asked me, what is my dream job? Now, if you guys already know, my dream job would be to obviously be doing YouTube. However, it'd be awesome to have a workshop that I could supply parts to people, that has a warehouse that could import Japanese, import Euro, and not import, but a lot of Australian or ADM market stuff as well. Just an all-round incredible car shop that has a workshop out the back that I'm able to make videos about every single day, and every single weekend go out to a track event or a drift event or go do something out there. That would be my ultimate dream job, is to run that business on the side as well as doing YouTube as a hobby. I don't want to make YouTube my full-time job. I always want it to be a hobby, because I believe that if it ever becomes a job and it can become stressful, that my videos will never ever be the same. I think that trying to create a hobby with YouTube is better for me than trying to create a business with YouTube. YouTube is going to help me one day develop that business that I want to do. However, at the moment, YouTube is the business that I want to get into, and then I can expand from there. So we'll see how we go. Now, Bentley T asked me this question: when did you start blowing up on YouTube? Now, I wouldn't say at the moment that I actually have technically started blowing up on YouTube, but the biggest spike that I did have was when I made that absolutely horrid video that I hate. The straight pipe video across Brisbane. That video there, the audio really wasn't great, and the car was decently loud, but I was really, because I'd never driven a straight pipe car before, it was pretty bad for me. And yeah, so that video there now has 100,000 views, and I hate it. It's much like when artists say that their most disliked song is their #1. I think it's like, yeah, that's kind of like my best video is my #1. My worst video is my #1, and I hate it. And I've sort of started to finally plateau again. And I think with this plateau, I mean, I'm in it for making videos pretty much, and I think it's a good thing now that it's stopped gaining subscribers really quickly, because I didn't want to gain them for the wrong reasons. I wanted to gain them for the right reasons, which is trying to create a really wholesome and really enjoyable YouTube channel. So yeah, and this also goes along with the question where someone asked me, Mitchell Robinson on YouTube asked me, how come I've never seen you do a burnout? At the moment, the turbo car is pretty much my daily driver, so if anything happens to that car or I can't get a mod done within a day, I'm pretty much stuck. So I'm not quite sure what I need to do. I do plan on possibly doing a like 10,000 or 15,000 subscriber burnout with Max and I and Aiden, but yeah, we'll have to see about that. I'm not quite sure. Max_Craze_44 on Instagram asked me, will you and Max ever come down to Sydney? Max and I have wanted to do a Bathurst trip for so long now. It'd be so wicked to go do that. So I think within the next couple of years, Max and I will be definitely doing a road trip down there, and I think Aiden might also be tagging along as well. But yeah, we do definitely want to go do Bathurst, but if we ever do that, we will definitely swing by Sydney and do a meet there, which would be awesome. Alright, another question here from Lolux99, and he asked, how can I get into YouTube? Now, I'm not the best one to probably bring up how to get into YouTube or what the best method is to do it, but all I can pretty much say is do it for the right reasons. If you love filming and you have a passion for whatever you're filming, people are going to follow you. Make videos for yourself and don't try and please anyone. I think at the moment, especially with that straight pipe through Brisbane video, I did try and please a lot of people and try and conform to the normalities of, you know, really trying to push the boundaries of, you know, my comfort zone, and to the point where I felt uncomfortable making videos for a while. And that's when I really started to lose it. And so I think coming into YouTube with the right mindset and the right goals and the right aspirations, and I think you can definitely go a long way. I hope that I'm going the right direction. How many cars have I had apart from the Turbo? And this was by Lazy XG. So I've had 3 cars currently. I had the BA XT, I also had the Breeze XR6, and now I have a Breeze XR6 Turbo. My favourite by far has been the Breeze XR6 Turbo, by far, and I think the second best car that I ever had was the second best car that I had was obviously the Breeze FG. That's what I started the channel with, and yeah. But I think the best bang for buck that I ever had, and the one that made me the most money, was the BA. So I quite enjoyed all my cars. Alrighty, I got a question from AP Wolling, I'm not quite sure. He said, was the Adam Aussie Archie event the first time you met Samet, and why do you guys hang out so often? So pretty much, I knew Samet through YouTube, through Adam Aussie's videos, and that's how I actually found his channel. And pretty much I started watching his channel through there, and then once I didn't actually know that he was coming to Archerfield, and I saw his car there, and I'm like, oh my god, that's actually Sam, that's crazy. Because I was there for Adam LZ, and I didn't know Sam was there, so I'm like, for me, I was fangirling over them both. And so the next day, I actually went onto Instagram and I said, should me and Sam do a collab? Everyone go hashtag Zach Baldy collab on Sam's latest Instagram post. And I think we got about 20 of you guys actually went on there and did it. He actually sent me a message on Instagram saying, hey man, I'd really like to take you for your first drifting experience. Let's do it on the Tuesday night event. And so I actually went into the pits and I met Sam for the very first time, and even still then I was fangirling like crazy. I just couldn't talk. I was like, oh, okay, do you want a hand with putting wheels on your car? And yeah. And then it was the point where, I sent him a message and saying, hey man, like, sorry, I was really starstruck when I met you. And he's like, dude, don't worry, I'm just a normal guy. I would say through YouTube, we've definitely become good mates, and I can't wait to actually go visit him out in Japan. He's a really nice bloke, he's really down to earth, and he really gave me a really big insight into this whole YouTube thing, so I really do appreciate him. If you guys don't know who Samet is, make sure to go look at his channel. I'll put a link in the description this time, and I'll also put a link to his Instagram. Go check him out, he's a really nice guy. Ashley Hallam asked me, why did you get an XR6 Turbo over an XR8? Pretty much the XR6 Turbo is a way more customizable platform in terms of power, and the 2 cars that I actually looked at, I looked at one Breeze XR8 and looked at one Breeze XR6 Turbo. I did definitely want to go Breeze. My favourite colour in the Falcon's for sure, and it'll probably be the last Falcon that I own. But the Breeze XR6 Turbo was definitely just a little bit nicer, it had less Ks on it, and it was a little bit cheaper as well. The XR8 that I looked at, even though it was pretty cool and it would have sounded amazing, there was a lot of work that needed to be done, and I wouldn't have been able to sell my NA for as much if I did the panel swap. So pretty much I went with the XR6 Turbo. However, I'm pretty happy that I did that, because now Max has the XR8 on the channel, I have the XR6 Turbo on the channel. We kind of have the best of both worlds, and my XR8 would never be on the same level as what his was, because Sarah would kill me. So yeah. The Morgan 8 OR said, would you sell your push button start to me? I would, for a small fee of $1,000. Pickle Juice Mango Juice asked me, do you like beetroots? No, I only like cherry tomatoes. You should know this already. Jaden Ims 97 asked me, how many cherry tomatoes have I eaten since being in Italy? I think ever since the stream I've kind of been off cherry tomatoes for a little bit, but I still do eat them. I would say I've had it on pizza, and I've had tomato spaghetti or tomato pasta, so a lot of cherry tomatoes. Anthony 40 asked me, looking to do any future mods to the XR8 bonnet diffuser. I pretty much spoke about all the turbo mods that I want to do engine wise, but I guess exterior wise I wanted to do some FPV side skirts and an FPV rear bar, for the simple fact that, oh my god, I do want to make it look a little bit meaner at the back, and I also wanted to see if I can make it a little bit meaner at the front, but I don't know how yet. I do need to wire up the halos that I've currently got installed in the car, as well as the fog lights that I have installed, and then also what I wanted to do was I wanted to go with some stickier tyres, simply for the fact that I do want to start doing a little bit more track days with my car, and not only track days where you go fast down a straight line, I wanted to go around corners as well. So I'm going to be doing the brakes, I also want to be changing out the rotor grids to something a little bit more impressive. And I think that I would probably be going with some work wheels very soon, depending if Sam can find me some over in Japan. So please, Sam, find me some in Japan. And I do definitely want to be going in with some stickier rubber. So I'm thinking at the moment I might just leave the grids on at the moment, and I might be going with some Bridgestone Potenza RE003s, which I actually have a couple of companies that have reached out to me and getting me prices for them at the moment. So I really thank you all for that. But yeah, I will be going with something like that very soon. I want to try and make my car a little bit more street plus track orientated and less stance, I guess, because I went for stance and it worked, but I kind of do want some thick chunky boys on there, so we'll see how we go. When am I going to take my car to the drags? On the 10th of May, I'm actually going to be heading down to Queensland Raceway Drags, where I think it's about $50 and I get to do as many runs as I want. I'm going to be heading down there and hopefully making a few passes that night. Should be really good. I'm not exactly quite sure about how fast turbos run stock. I'm thinking it's about 13 to 14 seconds. I do definitely want to go, if it's within that bracket, I do definitely want to go low 14s to the high 13s. Not quite sure yet, we'll see how we go. Alex Oz Car Spotter, why does your FG have so many problems? I don't know, it doesn't have bad problems, it's just, I feel like, I'm not quite sure. It's just got a few knocks here and there. As soon as I get them sorted out, the car will be literally flawless. Daily Hooners asked, when are you going to be moving out of the apartment? Also love your videos, keep it up. Thank you very much, man. As for the apartment, I'm going to be moving out at the end of July to early August, and I'm going to be looking for a house. However, at the moment, Jacob has decided that he's going to be moving back down to Newcastle, and I do still want to move out up to Griffin, which my other roommate Caden will not want to do. So at the moment, I'm currently stuck as for a place to live at the moment because I can't afford a house to myself. And I do definitely want to move out of an apartment. I just feel like I'm so limited to lighting, so limited to, you know, just being able to have my tools wherever I want to be and have stuff wherever I want it to go. I do want to move out into a house, but we'll definitely have to see how we go in the very near future. VL5LT_Belik asked, how much did you buy your car originally for? I bought the turbo for 12.5 grand. It was pretty good deal. Anyway guys, I hope you all really enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to subscribe, like. We'll be getting into so much content soon about putting intercoolers on my car, putting more than one intercooler, putting 2 intercoolers on there. We're going to be doing catch cans, going to be doing heaps of other stuff. So if you guys are really keen for that, remember to subscribe, like the video, and comment what you thought about the inverse sphere theory. And anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all very soon. Peace out.